Designers have consistently fabricated shocking offices and constructions like the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt and the Great Mass of China. Designers and draftsmen cooperate to achieve intriguing tasks. Well-known designing and engineering firms are behind these huge-scope ventures like Architecture Master in Europe, Zaha Hadid Architects of London, and other first-rate firms. Architects have never halted to shock us with their development and inventiveness. The world is presently developing and advancing a lot quicker, and this has encouraged the force for designers to execute enormous scope designing activities. Here is a rundown of top 10 largest engineering construction projects. 1. Al Maktoum International Airport, world's largest airport, Dubai. Al Maktoum International Airport, Dubai. Dubai's Al Maktoum International Airport was initiated in 2010 for public. It covers a territory of 14,000 hectares, 35,000 sections of land. The office is intended to deal with 200 wide-body airplane at a time. The air terminal's subsequent development stage alone has an expected expense of more than $32 billion, which is planned for activity in 2030. Initially booked for consummation in 2018, the most recent development stage has been postponed. The complete expense of the air terminal has been assessed by the Dubai government to be $82 billion. 2. Jubail II, Saudi Arabia. Jubail II, Saudi Arabia. Jubail Industrial II development is a multi-billion-dollar mechanical city intending to make social advantages and to support the petrochemical business. This task will twofold the size of the Jubail Industrial City by 6,200 hectares. The work incorporates miles and miles of streets, utilities, water, wastewater, and all necessary foundation. At the point when finished, it will involve at any rate 100 modern plants, a 800,000 cubic meter desalination plant, miles of rail lines, streets and interstates, and a petroleum treatment facility creating at any rate 350,000 barrels each day. The whole venture is scheduled to be done in 2026. 3. Dubailand, Dubai. Marvel Garden, Dubailand. Dubailand is an amusement complex being inherent Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It will have a region of 278 kilometers squared, 107 square miles, and incorporate 45 Uber projects and 200 sub-activities. The $64 billion Dubailand will have 6 sections: amusement parks, sports settings, eco the travel industry, well-being offices, science attractions, and inns. It will likewise have the world's biggest lodging, with 6,500 rooms, and a 10 million square ft shopping center. The undertaking is booked for fruition in 2025. 4. International Space Station, Space. The International Space Station, ISS, circles the Earth like clockwork and finishes 15.5 circles each day. Made by a consortium of 15 countries and 5 space organizations, it has an at-present planned development cost that surpasses $60 billion. The inevitable expense of the space station and its expected developments could outperform $1 trillion, so, all things considered, it could turn into a permanent place to stay for up to 1 million off-planet tenants. 5. South-North Water Transfer Project, China. South-North Water Transfer Project, courtesy of China.cn. Additionally called South to North Water Diversion Project, is a multi-decade foundation Uber project in the People's Republic of China. The north of China is home to very nearly 50% of China's populace, however has just about 20% of the nation's water assets. To tackle this unevenness, China has subsidized the development of 3 gigantic channels, every in excess of 600 miles in length, and will convey water toward the north from China's 3 biggest waterways. The task has a 48-year development plan. At the point when finished, it will supply 44.8 billion cubic meters of water yearly. By 2014, more than $79 billion had been spent, making it perhaps the most costly designing ventures ever. 6. London Crossrail Project, England. London Crossrail Project, England. Crossrail, to be referred to authoritatively as the Elizabeth Line, is a 73-mile, 117-kilometer rail route line, a work in progress in England that crosses London from east to west. Crossrail, world's first underground train framework, keeps on developing, adding 26 miles of passage that will at last connection 40 stations. The assessed cost of development is $23 billion. The venture is anticipated consummation in stages, with the main new line, the Elizabeth Line, expected to go into administration in 2019, trailed by the excess lines. 7. California High-Speed Rail, California. California High-Speed Rail. Work on California's fast train started in 2015 and the principal stage has made arrangements for finishing in 2033. It will associate 8 of the 10 biggest urban areas in the state and reach from San Diego in the south to San Francisco in the north, with an aggregate of 24 proposed stations. The undertaking will be finished in 2 stages. Phase 1 will associate Los Angeles to San Francisco. Phase 2 will stretch out associations with San Diego and Sacramento, which is as yet in the arranging stages. The train will be 100% electric and will be controlled altogether by sustainable power and fit for speeds up to 220 miles each hour. 8. Chuo Shinkansen, Japan. Chuo Shinkansen, Japan. Officially called the linear Chuo Shinkansen, Japan's most up-to-date rapid rail. The line is required to associate Tokyo and Nagoya urban areas in a short time, and in the long run Tokyo and Osaka urban areas quickly, running at a most extreme speed of 505 km per hour, 314 miles per hour. This leg of the Great Speed Trip is anticipated fulfillment by 2027. A later stage will stretch out the line to Osaka. Around 86% of the Tokyo-Nagoya line will be underground, requiring broad passage development. This attractive levitation, otherwise called maglev train, is the quickest train on the planet. 9. Beijing Airport, China. Beijing International Airport will eventually outperform Dubai's Al Maktoum International Airport in cost, absolute region, traveler and plane limit. The air terminal's first stage was finished on schedule for the 2008 Olympiad. Further extension is orchestrated consummation by 2025. Terminal 1, planned by the famous engineer Zaha Hadid, fuses various manageable plan ideas in an advanced structure envelope. 10. Great Man-Made River Project, Libya. Extraordinary Man-Made River Project, Libya. The Great Man-Made River Project is an organization of lines that provisions water to the Sahara in Libya, from the Nubian Sandstone Aquifer System fossil spring. The absolute expense of the undertaking is projected at more than $25 billion United States dollars. Libya has been chipping away at the Incomparable Man-Made River (GMR) project since 1985. It is the biggest water system project on the planet. At the point when finished, it will inundate in excess of 350,000 sections of land of arable land and will extensively increment accessible savoring water the vast majority of Libya's metropolitan communities. The water hotspot for the task is the underground Nubian Sandstone Aquifer System. The venture is planned for fulfillment in 2030.